What's the difference between passion and purpose? Passion is that thing that gets you out of bed in the morning without anyone asking. Think of Christmas presents under the Christmas tree. Purpose is work. Purpose is something that we need to do, but we don't always want to do. But if we don't do it, nobody else will, right? These are both very important topics. I think everybody needs passion and purpose in their life. And hopefully you can intertwine the two together so that the thing that is getting you out of bed in the morning, right, the Christmas presents under the tree, is also the work that you need to be doing. And if not, it's totally okay too, but maybe we can work to get those things to be closer together. Either way, it is hot as hell outside, so let's get back to my desk and talk about it.
Passion is related to oneself, and purpose is related to others. This is actually something I found written in one of my old journals, I think from 2019, doing some goal setting exercises, as I do all the time. And it's something I haven't thought about for a long time. It's very interesting. You know, it makes sense, kind of. It is how I live my life today, right? Kind of this perspective of living a purpose-driven life. But there is a key point there in that, you know, the things that we're passionate about have nothing to do with anybody else. You know, for me, that's dance, breaking. I'm addicted to it. I love it. You know, my purpose is all about, you know, my legacy and what I can leave behind and how I can help people. And it's something I encourage everyone to do because it is very, very fulfilling to have a purpose, to find your purpose and to live in your purpose. But I did want to kind of put this out there and help you understand the dichotomy of those two ideas. So passion is related to oneself, while purpose is related to others. This is actually a note I found in my journal from a few years ago. I was doing some goal setting and just, you know, thinking about life as I often do. And it was an interesting reminder. I haven't actually shot a video about this, but, you know, passion, you know, one of my passions for me is, you know, dancing. Another passion for me is problem solving, academia, learning. That's why I'm involved in so many things. Purpose, my purpose, you know, the thing that I do that's related to others is teaching and being helpful. It's about my legacy and what I can leave behind and ultimately leaving an impact on people. I think a lot of the things that we seek validation for are also related to our purpose, or really are us going through the exercise of trying to find, you know, our purpose and seeking validation for others. But no point there, just a little nugget for you to roll about in your brain. So my question to you is, when was the last time you were truly happy, at peace, and enjoying life? Where were you? What were you doing? Who were you with? Were you with anyone in particular? A group of people? Were you by yourself? And what are you doing now? And why aren't you doing that thing that made you happy? Now, there could be a good reason or not good reason. It's just something to think about. And I think it's something that we should think about often. You know, are we creating a life that allows us to do the things that make us happy? And if we're not, how come? Let's think about it. Everybody should find their purpose. At least that's the case that I'm making. You know, ostensibly because I believe that I figured something out and I want to share that with you. I'm going to give you a little insight into reality, though, is that, you know, these are simply my beliefs and things that I find useful in my life. I do think that there is value in other people hearing them, which is why I put my ideas into this video format and share it with you all. But why do I think that purpose is so important? Well, I'll dive into that. Before that, though, Welcome back to my channel. My name is Forrest. I invest in stuff, financial, emotional, intellectually. Really just trying to become a better version of myself each and every day. And I want to create a platform and a space to do that for other people. Again, today's video is about passion and purpose. So actually was shooting a bunch of reels about this, and I was like, oh, I should do a longer video on this because I have more to say, which I do. So passion is, I think, related to ourselves. The things that we're passionate about, think of it almost as a love affair with oneself. What is the thing that you really love doing with just yourself, or that you love about yourself? For me, it's dancing. I love dancing. Regardless of my measure of skill, I enjoy all forms of dance. I've always danced ever since I was a kid. I used to sit in my living room, put on MJ records, just dance all day. Ask my mom, ask my sisters about it. I just love dancing, and I always will. It doesn't matter what changes in my life. It's like I'm addicted to it, right? So that's a passion. Purpose is more fleeting. And I'm going to dig into, more about why I think both understanding how both affect us are important, but purpose is more fleeting. I think purpose is related to others and the validation that we get from them. And I think that's why it's so hard for people to find their purpose, is because the things that we get validation from in regards to other people changes in our life. Like the things that people slap us on the back for when we're a kid changes when you're an adult, right? You go from school to working, to having a family, being part of your community. The things that people want from you and give you credit for change throughout life. And so often people struggle with figuring out what the heck their purpose is. And that's okay, right? And I think that's just because we don't think about it. We don't recognize that this relationship is happening between us and them in our minds, right? So let's dig a little bit more into passion and why you should have a passion, right? And people also have trouble with finding things that they're passionate about. I'm fortunate to have discovered at a young age that I just love dancing. I consider myself a creative person in general. I love expressing myself, sharing ideas, creating content, putting myself in uncomfortable situations. I've always been that way. And my internal battle has always been one of trying to remain a creative person, remain a creative individual. Maybe that's something you've struggled with, while also getting into corporate America, trying to make money, playing the game basically. I found out after I graduated college that I was pretty good at the whole corporate thing, right? Put on a suit, I can create in a suit, I can talk the talk. I'm in sales now. I can navigate that space pretty well, I would say. It's something I find a lot of pride in today. On the purpose side is actually helping people navigate these corporate spaces. And whether it's, negotiating for salary, I've helped quite a few people with just like salary negotiations. Very excited about that. I love helping people make more money. I don't know why, I just do. And just coaching people in general. I think I'm pretty good at reading people. But there's like two very different natures kind of battling, always at battle within me. And I think that's normal. I think part of growing up, when you have a passion, a very clear passion like me, right, which is dancing, you often feel like you have to choose one or the other. And that's something that took me years and years and years. I mean, I'm 31 now, and I remember being in my 20s, like maybe I should have never even went to college. Maybe I should have did this. Maybe I should have did that. And a lot of that is just due to having fatigue from the amount of options that I had available to me, due to being generally good at quite a few things. I don't say that to brag. I think a lot of people are in that situation, right? If you're generally, athletic and creative and read books, there's like a lot of stuff you can do. And that's basically what my life has always been. Like, what the heck do I do? This random set of skills, which is why you have to find your passion, right? You have to find the thing that you love to do, because you will burn out doing things that you're just good at, but you don't love, right? And that is why passion is so important. It can balance, right? If you're someone who is just working to pay the bills, to put food on your table, having that passion, having something that you go to that you love every day, you're not trying to make money from it, can be the thing that when we talk about work-life balance, that that really balances that scale for you, and you can get deeper into the community of that thing, etc., etc. So having a passion is critical, I think, to having a grounded sense of self, and it is often the answer to your identity statement, right? If you're someone who is a passionate tennis player, right, and you meet someone, let's say I meet that person that is passionate about tennis, and I say, hey, what do you do? They say, oh, I might work at so-and-so and I play a lot of tennis, right? That's going to be a part of their identity, is playing tennis. For me, it's dancing. And people ask me what I do. I say, oh yeah, I break dance. I say it all the time. I don't have to. I just feel like it's a big part of who I am because I'm so passionate about it. Being in tech too, being an engineer, a software engineer. I haven't done as much recently, but still is part of my identity. I love tech. I love coding. All of that. Should probably shoot a whole other video about that. But so that's passion. You have to have a passion. I believe you should have a passion. There's value in it. I've been dancing for a long time. Like I said, always will forever. And if you're trying to figure out, I guess the advice that I would give to you watching this right now, if you're trying to figure out what your passion is, make the question easy for yourself and just think about, what do you enjoy doing? Right? When people aren't asking you to do stuff, what is something that you just like doing or had fun doing? It could be a sport. It could be, some artistic thing like painting. You don't have to be good at it. But you should find that passion, fully involve and immerse yourself into it, and try to master it. You may never achieve mastery of that, and that is okay, but as humans, we find and often can create a sense of fulfillment through increased mastery in a thing, whatever that thing is. And that is the value to me, I think, of having a passion. People who do not have that, who lack that, often, talk to them, they feel lost, they're depressed, yada, 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 and they're just this constant cycle because they just exist, right? They're just existing. So purpose. Let's talk about purpose. Purpose is related to validation that we get from others, right? Your purpose and your passion might be the same thing, which is awesome. For me, they're not yet. Part of, passion, my passion being breaking, my purpose, I feel like my purpose here is to take and break down and close the gap between different worlds, right? If I kind of think of myself on a grander scale and what it is I have to offer to the world, between all the different communities and the people that I know, it's living and existing in a space as a person of color, right? The corporate world, and being able to navigate that pretty okay, dealing with politics, etc. Getting to a pretty good point in my career that I'm at least personally proud of, and helping other people achieve that. I think there's a lot of different ways if we can talk about how to improve society, but one of the things that I have settled on, and I think is a great use of my time and my limited life here on earth, is simply helping more people that look like me make more money, and they now have the agency to affect change however they may please. That's my personal belief, and you can't change my mind. Well, maybe you can. I won't say that. I won't speak in absolutes. But that is my purpose. That is my primary purpose, I think, is simply helping people, either motivating them, right? Getting them to get off their ass. A lot of people don't need some logical breakdown of why X, Y, and Z will work for them. They just need to be shoved off the fucking cliff. Sometimes you push people off the cliff, survival instinct kicks in, and they'll figure it out. That is the number one way to get stuff done, or get people to do something or improve, is just push them off the cliff. So I do a lot of that. A lot of content I put out, I'm sure you guys see, is just motivational. It's just me just trying to push people off the cliff, knowing that we all have that survival instinct. We all have that higher gear that will kick in when we're in high pressure situations, and failure is not an option. And trying to get people in that state through the things that I have to say and ideas I put out there. Another part of my purpose, I think, is, outside of just financial, is talking a little bit about society. I think a lot of content creation, because of capitalism, basically, is so risk averse. There's so much content of like the same thing. It's lifestyle content. It's It's, booties, it's boobs, it's fitness, it's sexy, it's cars, And I won't front with you guys. I love all that stuff, right? Especially the booties and the cars. I love it. But who doesn't? Literally every person alive loves fitness, booties, cars, boobs. We all love that. Men and women love all those things. I don't think that we need more of it. There's enough. And I think that a lot of people who have a platform, knowing that the people behind these accounts are people that we live in this society, right? We all are in this shared experience, having similar struggles. There's more to offer, I think, than just showing off. And I show off plenty, and I always will. I always will. I love showing off. It's fun. I'm proud of the things that I've accomplished. But I think part of my purpose is also being a socially conscious individual, and applying pressure here and there on people, making them think. When I get into new circles, asking people hard questions like, hey, have you ever thought about this? Not necessarily trying to tell them to do anything, but just asking them questions that they probably haven't asked before of themselves or their friends and family. It's just like, what do you think about these people? Why do you believe the things that you believe? Why do you do the things that you do? Why do you dislike that person? Why do you like that person? Why do you wake up at this time instead of that time, right? Why are you so afraid of this situation? Really explain it to me. What are the reasons you're really afraid of, right? I feel like a big part of my purpose, and I've just decided that it is doing these things. And that's the cool thing about purpose, right? I say purpose is related to validation from others. I know, and I've gotten validation from other people that the stuff that I do is helpful and useful. And so I'm going to keep doing it and make an impact, make a change. I think part of having an impact is you stop worrying so much about individual likes that you get. Some of my things I'm most proud of have just been working with people one-on-one, completely out of sight, out of mind on social media. I have tons of those examples, and I might post something that's really in-depth and useful and it gets 12 likes, and maybe one of those 12 people changes their lives from it. That is completely fine for me. I think that's way more important than just that low-level validation. So talking about validation across different degrees here, obviously posting content. I do care about the amount of people that follow me. I'm not going to front and say that I don't want to grow my following. Obviously, with my goal, if my goal is to help more people, the more people that follow me, the better, right? The bigger my voice can be, more conversations that I can have, hear about your experiences, right? And as more and more of you get into this community that I'm building, that's only going to help me think about, shape better ideas, right? So purpose, going back to the core problem, can be confusing. It can be hard to know what your purpose is when the things that you're getting validated for change. I'll give an example of that, right? So when I was younger, I was a runner. A lot of my identity was around being a runner. And so I thought that my purpose was to just be an athlete. I thought that that was my life. But it really wasn't. I'm just generally athletic. I probably would have been good at any sport that I dedicated myself to, and that's okay. But I don't really love running. I don't like running too much at all. What I really enjoyed about that was competition. I'm a competitor, passionate about competing, being the best at whatever I'm doing. So whatever it is I'm doing, I'm trying to be the best. And I also force people around me to be the best, because I hate being around mediocrity in general. It drives me nuts. I think it's a waste of time. And I think one of the saddest things that we can do as people is put in a low amount of effort and then die. Imagine if you just barely tried, people were counting on you, and then you died. And that was the last thing you left them with, was your mediocre effort at doing whatever. People will still love you, but they wouldn't have anything nice to say about you. And you may not care about that, but I do. So that used to be, or I thought was, my purpose. But absent of just being talented, then what happens is, what happens if I can't run anymore? Do my purpose just disappear? No. So I think your purpose has to be something that you can always, work at, or it just needs to be well understood, the impact and the legacy that you're trying to create. Your purpose might just be being a good parent, and that's okay. And you really want to live in that purpose, and your purpose will change, right? It's totally okay for your purpose to change. It shouldn't be a daily change, right? As we grow and experience more things and learn new things, we certainly should change as individuals. How we perceive and think about the world should change. If you go from 20 to 30 and your beliefs are the same, you're probably just dumb, right? And I say that pretty confidently. I've met plenty of people who are, their beliefs are like this, and really that is due to willful ignorance more than wisdom, right? As we experience more things, we learn more about what we don't know, and as we become more aware of what we don't know, we should become more, what's the word I'm looking for? Flexible in our beliefs, more understanding, more tolerant, right? We should not become less of that. We certainly should not think the things the same. We shouldn't be thinking the same things in our 30s that we thought when we were 18. That's really, really worrisome for me. So if you're wherever you are in your journey, I think your emotions and your thoughts about life are valid, but certainly the more experiences that you have, the more credible that they are, right? So that's passion and purpose. Both important to find. There's something that I think everybody, all of you watching this, whether 50 people watch this video, 500, whatever it is, hopefully what you take away from this is passion is a self-love involved activity, process, or thing that is, mastery driven. That mastery brings self-satisfaction, happiness, and peace, right? It is all about self-actualization. Purpose is around your legacy. It is, what are you leaving the world? Are you making the world a better place? What do people have to say about you? I think it's fine to, live your life on your own terms, but ultimately we do live in a community, right? We have family, people that depend on us. We have people that learn from us, right? The next generation are watching us, and they're doing what we're doing, and you need to think about if you are helping those people. I think that is really, really important, especially people that look like you, whatever it is, demographic you're a part of, right? For me, I'm a black man, might be a white woman watching this, might be an Asian man watching this, you might be whatever demographic you are, people are watching you, and if they're of the same demographic as you are their first example for life, right? Obviously, we all look to other people for other things, but that is a very real thing. People look to people who look like them. And so do your best to make the world a better place. Spread good ideas. Spread intellectualism, tolerance, peace, love, all of those things. And maybe, if we're lucky, the world will continue to keep becoming a better place. So went on a bit of a tangent there, but that is the end of this video. If you're still here, hey, I appreciate you. Like I said before, actually I didn't say this before, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share this video, hit the notification bell. I appreciate each and every one of you. My name is Forrest. I invest in stuff. You should too. See you in the next one.